Many stories have been formulated about Nyabingi, her existence and her lifetime. So now we are going to listen to the history of Nyabingi and her religion. So today we are going to enjoy the first part of our mission, which is going to talk about Nyabingi in human shape. So let's see first the existence of Nyabingi. Nyabingi is a historical figure who existed in the ancient Rwanda. Nyabingi was a girl who was born in King's Palace under the reign of Ndahiro II Chamatale, who ruled Rwanda from 1477 to 1510. She was the sister of Ruganzu Ndoli, who then became the king of Rwanda as a successor of Chamatale. No one knows when exactly she was born and when she died, but the truth is that she experienced mundane life as a daughter of king and a sister of Ruganzu Ndoli. And her lifetime can be looked at from the period of kingdom of Ndahiro II Chamatale and that of Ruganzu II Ndoli. Let's see the ancestry of Nyabingi. Nyabingi, like a child from royal family, her ancestry stems from the dynasty of ancient Rwandan kings. In this regard, it cannot go unsaid the pedigree of Nyabingi, as Rwanda has different kinds of kings, from mythical kings, among them Kigwa and Kimanuka, wealthy kings, to historical kings. Our focus will be from historical kings who were recognized in the history recorded within the boundaries of Kingdom of Rwanda. For the sake of clarity, Nyabingi's ancestry begins with historical kings, indicating king's name and period of reign under which the king ruled Rwanda. The ancestry of Nyabingi appears as follows. Ruganzu I Wimba, who ruled Rwanda in 1312 from 1312 up to 1345. The first historical king gave birth to Chilimba I Rugwe. Rugwe gave birth to Kigeli I Mukobanya. Mukobanya gave birth to Mibambwe I, Sekalongoro I, Mutabazi I. Mutabazi I gave birth to Yuhi II, Gahima II. Gahima II gave birth to Ndahiro II Chamatale. Chamatale gave birth to Ruganzu II Ndoli and Nyabingi, who would become Nyabingi later. Let's see the synoptic view of the kingdom of Ndahiro II Chamatale, who was father of Nyabingi. Nyabingi's father, King Ndahiro II Chamatale, lived in Kingogo, and people from Kingogo followed him very well. In that time, another people from Nduga reached him. One of Chamatale's ritualists managed to go to Nduga to say that he is a good master to serve. Someone from Nduga came and reached there in Kingogo to experience life in Kingdom of Ndahiro. When he went back to Nduga and recounted what happened to him when he was at King's Palace, his people say that he is a good man. Another person went there, and King gave him 2 cows, and this symbol stimulated Nduga's people to stand up and come to follow Ndahiro in Kingogo. When people from Nduga came to serve Ndahiro, he gave them many donations and presents. His kind heart to people of Nduga became an object of envy to Kingogo people he had been ruling. They said, Ndahiro is no longer our king, but rather the king of people from Kingogo. They planned to attack him with the purpose of killing him. Fleeing from his brother Zulu because of his desire to take over on the leadership, Ndahiro found refuge to Karagwe, which is now Tanzania. Karagwe was under the reign of King Ruhinda, the father of Abahinda, and for this reason it was called Karagwe Kabahinda. Ruhinda and Ndahiro's second Chamatali had a good relationship. The fact that Ruhinda accepted to give him subterfuge in his kingdom Karagwe. In the refuge, Ndahiro had love affair with Nyamunyana's servant girl, and from that love affair, Ndahiro knocked up the servant. Nyamunyana asked the servant who impregnated her, and she said it was Ndahiro, the king of Rwanda. At the very moment of listening to that, Nyabunyana was infuriated for knowing that it was the king himself who was the author of the pregnancy. In Rwandan tradition, it was an abomination for the king to have sex with any woman while in exile. The very act of looking for an exile was called kubunda, which signifies that he was living a clandestine life so that he could not dare to do that thing. Kubunda mostly happened to prince who would be successor of the king when the king had enemies who might kill his son. For that reason, the prince would be taken to another place, especially at his aunts or uncles. So, when Nyabunyana knew the truth about the pregnancy of her servant, she was very sad and reprimanded her brother to have done it. Therefore, the plan was made to conceal the secret so that Rwandan king is not put to shame. Nyabunyana asked one of her servants the way to proceed, and the servant advised her to never chase the servant who was pregnant while she was still pregnant. The deal was done. The servant gave birth to a girl who was named after one of Luganzu's elder brother Bienshi. She was named Nyabingi, which means daughter of Bienshi, and the servant claimed that it was Bienshi who had impregnated her. The servant and the baby were both chased from Nyabunyana's compound towards Rwanda. The servant and daughter Nyabingi traveled for many days to reach a place which is now known as Nyakishenyi Cave in current Uganda, where they lived a little before bringing the child at the royal palace to be brought up there as a child from royal family, but who would be recognized as not as a genital daughter of Ndahiro's second Chamatali. Upon his return to Rwanda, Ndahiro ruled, but his reign was characterized by conspiracy. In the royal esotericism, it was known that Ndoli would be successor of his father on kingdom leadership. However, Ndoli had many brothers, among them Bienshi and Bamara, and Bienshi wanted to kill him before he takes over. Bienshi had a plan to be the successor of his brother, and Bamara was on his side. Knowing that Bienshi wanted to kill his son Ndoli, Ndahiro decided to send his little boy Ndoli and his daughter Nyabingi in Karagwe to Kalemela's residence, where his sister Nyabunyana was married. Nyabunyana was married to Kalemela Hagara, son of Ruhinda, the father of Abahinda, and the king of Karagwe. As a result, both of them, Ndoli and Nyabingi, lived in their auntie's house and spent plenty of years in her compound. When Ndahiro sent them there, he gave them maid and servant for each. Nyabinshi's maid was Nyiramukiga, whereas her servant was Lubozi. They dwelt at their auntie's compound many years of their infancy and adolescence. Ndahilo's second Chamatale died in their oblivion, and it came to happen that the heir of the king was chased inevitably. When Ndahilo died, Rwanda was ruled by Rwaka, who was a rebel, and Umuhinza in Kinyarwanda. And all people were fed up of calamities they suffered from, to the extent that they hungered for being ruled by the son of Ndahilo. They had killed themselves. It was a result of the death of Ndahilo's second Chamatale, whereby the ritualists decided to take the throne of Kingdom Kalinga and spear Tundoli, who would be the following king of Rwanda. The one who became king was ruling without the power of kingdom in his hands. Under the reign of Rwaka, the problem piled up increasingly. There was no longer rain and sun. Sorghum was withering because of rain drought. Cows became burning because of lack of water, and sheep died. Water was not flowing in the rivers anymore, and no other reason which deprives the land on the land of Rwanda causes childlessness than the lack of favorable king of Rwanda. May we have another king like Ndahiro, or another person who is his descendant. The person who said that was making allusion to Ndoli. In that time, Ndahiro had ceased to be, and people were being ruled by Rwaka. Rwaka himself looked for someone to dispatch to Karagwe to bring Ndoli from Nyamunyana's compound to Rwanda. A servant maid, Kavuna, eagerly accepted to go there. Shortly after being told to go there to bring Ndoli, Kavuna said, "Here are my feet. I only lack the food." Having eaten up the food, he was served. Kavuna gathered on his loins to go to Karagwe. But before going, he went to the ritualist and informed him about his journey to bring Ndoli. No sooner had he talked to the ritualist than he began his journey to Karagwe. When he reached Nyamunyana's compound, he firstly met Nyamunyana and gave her greetings from Rwanda. After that, he told her the motive of his journey to Karagwe. He told her that Rwandans are in need of a king, Ruganzu Ndoli, to whom it was predestined, so that they live in peace again. Upon hearing sending Ndoli to Rwanda, Nyamunyana flatly denied. She said, "I can't send my son to Rwanda, to the people who have killed my brother." Ndoli, who was overhearing them from outside, hastily entered the house to tell his aunt that he was ready to go to Rwanda. Ndoli, in response to his aunt, said, "No reason can stop me from going to Rwanda if they really need me." His aunt told him, "My son, come and talk to me in a nook. I will tell you the secret." She admonished him in all the ways possible so that he be very cautious on his time of reign. Ruganzu took front position to go to Karagwe's king and thanked him for all he had done for both of them, he and Nyabingi. After his sister Nyabingi seeing that he was going to be the king, she made him take a vow. The two entered in a room. And talked to each other about the oath. She said, "You are my brother, and now you are going back to Rwanda to sit on the throne. Now I ask you to give me Ndorwa to be the girlhood center, itorero ry'abakobwa in Kinyarwanda, and swear to me that you and other Rwandan kings will never lay an attack to Ndorwa from now on." In response, Ndoli said, "I swear to God, I will never attack Ndorwa, even the kings who will come after me. No one of them will attack it." While they were having a talk, Kavuna went to overhear them. Meanwhile, Ndoli noticed that Kavuna had been overhearing them. He was very intoxicated and cursed him. This is the reason why, when Ndoli came to Rwanda with Nyabingi, they left Kavuna there. When Kavuna was coming back, following their footprints, he found them close the lake and did not find anyone to take him close. Infuriated, Kavuna took his spear and blocked it and nailed it on the ground, then stabbed himself on it. That was the end of Kavuna. So now we are going to continue with the kingdom of Nyabingi. On their way coming to Rwanda, Ruganzu and Nyabingi passed by Kabare. He set the boundary, as he had accepted to give his sister Nyabingi the land of Ndorwa. He set the boundary in the place named Kigalama in Uganda, in current Uganda. He drew a hedge up to Mhimbi, which is now near Congo. That is to say, the site of Mbarara, Kabale, Bufumbira, Butalo, which is now Ruhengeri, Gisenyi, and Byumba. He gave all this land to Nyabingi. Nyabingi decided to settle in Kigalama. She reached Mhimbi, and when she reached Gasebeye, she gave that land to Nyiramukiga, who was her servant. She gave all Ndorwa part to Nyiramukiga, but it still remained with her residence was in Kigalama. As for Nyabingi, she went to live in Mhimbi in Kigalama, where she established 2 boarding schools meant to teach loyal esotericism. One was in Kigalama, another one was in Mhimbi. After settling there, she was paid tribute, and that is where she initiated the rituals of venerating her, respectively. The residence of Nyabingi. Nyabingi lived in Mhimbi between border of Congo and Uganda. In Kigalama and in Mhimbi, there were 2 Nyabingi's residential houses, but the preferable residential house was in Mhimbi. That was even where she died. Like any other king's palace, Nyabingi's residence was a big glass house which has different rooms inside. There was a sitting room, house owner's room, Mumbere. There was small room between bed and big inner room, Ikambere. Where the secrets of the house owner were confided. That is where altar would be found for placing the beer to be used in the time of saying the words of protections. There was Iburiri, there was Umuriri, Inkingi Yisoni, there was Inkingi Yambonabihita, there was Umurere Wibyomanzi. That's all. There were many servants and maids, about 200 who worked for Nyabingi in her residence. And in her home were many maids and servants to whom she married 2 other people on her order. In her house, the servants had various functions. Some would sweep, others were there to place mats on the bed, to clean the house, to cultivate, to graze domestic animals, among others. The number of the servants Nyabingi had were around 200, simply because there were as much food and beverage to feed them comfortably. People from Congo, Kabale, Gisenyi, Dumba would bring taxes and offerings to Nyabingi. There was much effort to nourish all those people, and no person suffered from any state of hunger under her reign. So what about the death of? Next time we will talk about the death of Nyabingi and different practices which were initiated after her death. Actually, we talk about lifetime and the afterlife of Nyabingi. Thank you for your kind attention.